Hey guys, I'm Linda, and I've decided to share a little bit of my liberal bias with the world. Yesterday, the Huffington Post ran a very interesting story about North Carolina pastor Charles Worley, and he has some pretty incendiary things to say about gay and lesbians. So I'm gonna let you know what he said, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think. Okay. He said, build a great big large fence, 150 or 100 miles long. Put all the lesbians in there. Do the same thing for the queers and the homosexuals. And that fence should be electrified so they can't get out. And you know what? In a few years, they'll die out. Do you know why? Because they can't reproduce. Okay. So gay people can't reproduce. Who gives a shit? So many heterosexual American couples are infertile. They cannot produce children. So under that logic, those people shouldn't be able to get married too. This is one of the stupidest arguments that I've heard coming from the right against marriage equality, and I really, really wish they shut up about it. So I've decided to address, I guess, what I consider the main arguments against marriage equality that come from the Christian right. Fallacy number 1, gay marriage destroys the sanctity of marriage. I'm guessing that would be heterosexual marriage. What I would like to know is, what the hell is the sanctity of marriage anyway? So if anybody out there in the YouTube world can give me a freaking definition, I would love to hear it. Because I do not compute in my head, with all the little electrons running around in my brain, how if a gay person get married, how that affects you, straight person, getting married over here. So what you're telling me is gay people getting married is somehow going to destroy your right to get married. Or is it that like the whole institution of marriage is going to be like blighted and disgusting and gross? I mean, I don't know. Let me know if I'm on the right track, because I haven't quite figured out just exactly what the hell that means anyway. We're going to destroy the sanctity of marriage. I mean, it's the stupidest thing that I've ever heard. Just like a lot of people on the right. Stop. Fallacy number 2. Marriage should be between a man and a woman. So everybody on the right is saying that, well, if we allow gay people to get married, that we're going to have to redefine marriage. I don't really see what the big deal about that is. A long time ago, in a faraway world, there was this place where there were slaves, and they came from another country, but they weren't considered people. They were considered property. Oh wait, that was here. That was here in America. African American people, black people, such as myself, were not considered people, which means that we didn't have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Why? Because the definition of a person did not include people who had skin the same color as mine. But you know what happened? At some point, they had this thing called the 13th or 14th Amendment. And guess what happened? The 14th Amendment says everybody should have equal protection under the law. And the craziest thing that I don't understand about people on the right is that they spout this, oh, I love the Constitution. Well, if you're a strict constitutionalist, well, you should be able to get down with the 14th Amendment, and you should be able to give everybody equal protection under the law. There is nothing wrong with redefining words. So, since that's dead, what other arguments do you guys have for us? The last and final issue that I have with people on the right who are against marriage equality is that they use the argument of their own personal religion. They say, well, God doesn't agree with gay marriage, or God doesn't agree with homosexuality, or it's against my religion, or something to that effect. And I say to them, there is a reason that there is a separation of church and state. And it's not just like the Christian church. You have the Jewish faith, you have the Hindu faith, the Buddha faith, Muslim faith, everybody's faith. Nobody should have the right to impose their religious views on anybody else. How would you, Christian person, like it if a Buddhist came and said, hey, I would prefer it if everybody followed my beliefs? And you know what? You don't really have a choice. How would you like it if a Muslim person did the same thing? So I think my issue with this is, if so many Christian people would just put themselves in other people's shoes and say, would I like it if somebody else tried to force their religion upon me? Would I be okay with that? And we all know the answer to that. We all know that the answer is no. So I get it. When you go to the voting booth and you decide that you want to cast your individual ballot and you decide to do it based on your moral conscience, then you have every right to do so. But when the Supreme Court says that that is illegal because it violates the 14th Amendment or whatever judicial justification that they come up with, you better step in line and get the hell over it. Because we are a country of religious freedom. We are a country of religious tolerance. And we don't force people to do things that they don't have to do because they have rights. This is not China. This is not Cuba. This is not the freaking Taliban. That's not a country, by the way. This is not Saudi Arabia. This is not Iran. There is no theocracy here. There is no ruling religious body. And this is not the Vatican. So, to all you Christian people out there who have a problem, and all you non-Christians who have a problem with marriage equality, I say to you this: it should never be okay to discriminate against another human being. Whether or not they're American or not, it should never be okay. We should never tolerate it, and we should never deal with it. And if we do, this country is turning to shit.